Cybersecurity. So myself, Dr. Somasundaram, or Somasundaram, working as assistant professor at Sri Ramachandra Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research, Porur, Chennai. So this presentation is about security issues and attacks in the recent technology. So Dr. Prabhakaran sir already gave a wide range of impacts and the issues of the recent cybersecurity attacks and how it evolving nowadays. Okay, so the statistical informations are delivered by Dr. Prabhakaran. So this presentation is partly about so 6 parts. In that, the first off is about a couple of minutes are going to take time to discuss about what is cybersecurity, the introduction about the cybersecurity and attacks, and type of attacks. And the second off is going to be what are the major security issues that are really impacting our life day to day in the recent times, and what are the major technologies are involved in that. Okay, so we're going to see each and everything. The first thing is the cybercrime. So before we talking about cyber security, we should know what is the crime actually happening in this cyber area. So cybercrime, the name itself, it has the term called the crime. Okay, so this is a crime. It's conducted by the attackers or intruders or the man in the middle or third parties that are unauthorized persons. They committed this crime using the computer systems, mobile and the internet enabled devices. So it's probably IoT devices. So any part of a crime that is conducted using these components is called a cyber crime. So what are the major types of cyber crimes? So first one is the illegal interruption of the data by the attackers and unauthorized system interferences. If there is any two-party illegal party communication is happening, if there is any unauthorized interception in the communication or sale of illegal items. So what is illegal? Okay, so to understand that, we'll move on to the next slide. So here you can see the image. Probably you have already seen this image somewhere in the internet or in the social media. So this is a part of our what is that? The overall internet system. So it has actually 3 parts. One is the surface web, and the second one is the deep web, and the third one is the dark web or darknet. So here in this area, so you can see the most of the icons you can see on the tip of the iceberg is our day-to-day surfing applications on a mobile. Okay, so more than 5 to 8 hours people spend on these applications every day, and so whatever the information you can gain using your browser is actually using your Google or a Yahoo kind of search engine. So whatever the information you can gain through this search engines, you can call it as a surface web. That is very little percentage. That is just a 4% of data we can actually we are getting. Okay, so through the browsers and other surface medium, we be able to use. Okay, so rest of the things, more than a 90% of data is under the water. Okay, it means you're unable to use it. Otherwise, you need a permission to use those things. So when it comes to deep web, it's the second part. It contains most of the sensitive informations and most protected informations are stored. Okay, so it consists of government resources, scientific records, medical informations, electronic health records, academic informations, financial records. So these data requires a authorized authority to access those informations. Okay, so without authority, you are unable to access those information. Unlike you simply search whatever you want as a, you can give us a keyword and get the information through Google. Okay, it's totally different, and you need a permission to access. It's for example, I give one small instance. you can post anything in the Instagram. Okay, so everybody can see it. If they are friends of you, then they can see it. And if you're having a public provide, everybody can see it. If you change that permission to view that particular photo as a private, obviously only you can see that particular image. Nobody else can see that. So that is the kind of difference between the authorized person access and unauthorized person access. So when it comes to sensitive information, it consists of medical information. So obviously they are more sensitive. It contains medical records about the patients and government information. So it's related to the military secrets. And when it comes to financial informations, it consists of the bank transactions and other kind of records. Okay, so they are more sensitive. The next part is the dark web or darknet. Here, the concept what I explained in the previous slide, that the sale of illegal items taking place. So here, we cannot simply access these informations using your normal browser or anything. So it requires the unique system. It's called all the data are encrypted, all the websites are encrypted. You need a specific softwares to access this one. Okay, so for example, to access this, you need a browser called Onion. That is a Tor browser, and all the websites are considered that URLs are ended with the .onion. Okay, it's nothing but the Onion websites. They are encrypted websites, and actually that is not the actual URL. You cannot identify their exact location where they are hosting that website and other stuffs. So here, most of the illegal activities are happening. Some most of the peoples are actually yeah, the people who are involved in the criminal activities, and they sell the drugs, and they used to sell the guns and other kind of stuffs. So without revealing their identity. So most of them are anonymous. They simply use this platform to share the illegal information. Okay, so this is the very dangerous place, and most of the items are available in this area. That's why it covers more than 95% of internet in the entire system. So the problem with the recent technologies is so the increasing knowledge about this dark web and other stuffs. Okay, so you can easily get this kind of information, like if you simply put how to access dark web or how to install the Tor browser and how to collect this kind of informations. You simply put on YouTube, you will get the detailed information, step-by-step procedures how to access this everything. So the growing generation, the upcoming generation, or the current generation kids are able to have has a chance. They have a chance to use this kind of stuffs, and if they are not aware about this kind of dark web problem with this kind of dark web, so they will be prey to the criminals. Okay, so because so you should not reveal your identity, like you should not reveal your IP address in this kind of activities. In unfortunate situations, if the IP address revealed to some parties who are in that darknet, then you will be prey there. So all the systems, all the documents and systems that are connected into that particular application will be easily monitored and accessed by that cyber criminals. So it is very, very important that we need to monitor our kids and other uh, people who do not have a, proper knowledge about these things and not giving a permission to access this kind of stuffs. Okay, so with this information, the cybercrime kind of information, to protect it, we need a concept called cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is the technology or process or set of procedures to protect the cyber assets. It's basically a sensitive data assets that are presented in the cyber area. Okay. So it's a set of procedures, policies, and standards, and all these procedures, policies, and technologies are written to use that cyber devices. That is, it may be hardware devices or a softwares, or to access the entire network. So it has a set of procedures and rules and regulations. We need to follow that thing. Otherwise, we will end up with the cyber attacks. Okay, so we will be easily vulnerable to cyber attacks. The major objective of the cyber attacks is 5 points. That is availability, confidentiality, integrity, and accountability. And another one is the auditability. So in that, three major objectives are confidentiality, integrity, and availability that you know very well that CAA properties. So all the cybersecurity aspects need to accomplish these three things. Okay, it need to be secure, and the service need to be available to everyone. Also, and it should be confidential, and all the data that are transferred from one party to another party need to be integrated. Okay, that the data need to be integrated worthy, so it should not be modified or tampered during the data transmission. So these are the three objectives. With this intention, the cybersecurity principles and policies were framed to defeat these cyber attacks by cyber criminals and hackers. So what are all the cyber threats and what exactly the sources of cyber security threats? Okay, so there are many cyber security threats, and notably the corporate spies, malicious insiders, and hacktivists, terrorist groups, hackers, criminal groups, national state, that is a state-sponsored attackers are the more dangerous cyber threats to the cyber security. So when it comes to malicious insider or corporate spies, they are people, they are actually an employee of the organization, but they are a rogue employee. They employed by their competitive companies to spy the process and growth and secrets. So what are all the secrets and what are all the what plan strategy for the next 5 years. So everything will be monitored and they will report to that original company. Okay, so they are the spies. They are employed as a physical person into that another organization, and so it's very important for the HR people to monitor them and protect their organization from this kind of this threats. Then another one is the hacktivist. They are well skilled hackers and they know how to do the penetration testing and other activities, and so they have a set of targets, and according to the targets they work and they steal the informations. And the terrorist groups, obviously they have a very strong agenda. To achieve their agenda, they try to enter into the unauthorized networks, especially the government organizations, military secrets. Then they try to capture the informations. Hackers, they are well skilled software persons. They know they keep on updating themselves and identifying the vulnerability in the strong internet medium, and they're trying to enter into any secret area, and they're trying to capture the sensitive information. So criminal groups and other national state sponsors also uh, some of the major cyber security threats, and we can classify these peoples into three major categories. That is black hat, gray hat, and white hat hackers. When it comes to white hat hacker, they are the hacktivists, as we discussed in the previous slide. They are very skilled and they know how to do the penetration testing, and they act like an ethical hacker, and they will get the permission before itself. Okay, before they doing the testing or hacking process, they get the permission from that organization. It's a kind of agreement. So this agreement contains what are all the things need to be done, or what are the things is, should not be touched. For example, there are 5 services are in that organization, so they will get permission to access only few servers or not the other service. Okay, so they will not touch that particular server based on their legal agreement to that organization. But unlike other kind of attackers, I will come to them. So this is kind of a concept called ethical hacking, and they do it for a good purpose. They find a vulnerability and report that events to their organization and developers. Then developers identify these vulnerabilities and patch holes. They will write a security patches, and they push the security updates for that particular softwares. So this is the major job of the white hackers, and they work for a good cause, and they are paid, by the organizations. So basically, they are ethical hackers. So the second part of people is called gray hat hackers. They fall between this white hat and black hat. So they may be some parts they may be good and some part they may be wrong. The meaning is they don't indulge in any hacking activity unless they will be paid by some parties. Okay, it may be a government organization or non-government organization. If someone give money to them and do some ask them to do some hacking activity, they will involve in that and they will start doing that hacking activity, and they don't have any ethical point to touch this server or not to touch that server kind of discrimination. They will enter into any system. So based on their command, and they will capture the data and capture the network and report to that commanding authority. The last one is the black hat hacker. They are very dangerous and they are the real hackers. And once they enter into the secure system without any message, they will capture, they will sniff all the data, and they do different kind of hacking activities, and simply they will modify and they will resend, they will destroy. Okay, without any mercy, they can do anything. Okay, so they don't have any ethical principles and policies. They also called script kiddies. That's what explained here. A white hat who's specialized in penetration testing, pen test, it has a set of process like identify, taking the agreement with the organization and identifying the vulnerabilities, and based on the vulnerabilities, they create the report, and based on the report, the security solution will be made. So when it comes to black hat, so they are dangerous and they can do anything, whatever they want. Okay, so based on their skill set. The gray hat hackers, they fall between the white hat and gray hat, and so they will have a hacking community, and they will be paid, and according to that so owners command, they do their hacking activity, and they actually called a gray hat hackers. So what is attack? So and what are the types of attack? So when it comes to security attack, so these attacks are created by the security threats, what we discussed before. Okay, so there are three types of security threats, and so to protect them, so we need a security system called cybersecurity. That was we discussed in the few slides before. So that's why we're going to talk. So majorly, this attack system classified into two major types. That is active attack, and another one is the passive attack. So we'll see one by one how these attacks are happening and how it creating the impact to the recent technologies. So for this scenario, there are three parties are there. That is, one is called Bob and Alice here, and we can also take this as a client server or the sender and receiver party. Okay, so for a different scenario, okay, the architects, this kind of diagram will change. Okay, so the general normal communication will happen between these two parties. They are the genuine user. So Bob is a genuine sender who sends the information to the Alice. Alice is the genuine receiver, so he can keep on expecting the correct message from the Bob. Okay. But there is the one more person in that communication. He is called a hacker, attacker, or man in the middle, or uh, um, uh, attacker. Okay, so what he will do, okay, intruder, what he will do is he simply sneak the entire communication, and in the active attack, he will actively participate in this communication. Okay, so he capture the information from the sender and do some modification and send that modified message to the receiver. Okay, so this is the active participation. The active participation may be modifying the message or completely rewriting the message or deleting the message or whatever it may be. But the attacker actively participate in this communication and create some damage to that entire communication. Okay, so this is the basic uh, um, concept of active attacks, and we will see some of the attacks, some of the major attacks that comes under the active attacks. One is called Masquerade. So Masquerade is it's a kind of a man in the middle attack. So here the attacker simply receives the message and modify the message and send to the receiver, but the receiver believes that the message is actually coming from the sender. Okay. For example, here Bob is there and Alice is here. Alice believes the message is sent by the Bob. Okay. For example, Bob sending a message, I will meet you 5 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, but the attacker simply receives that message and modify like I will meet you 3 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so instead of 5 p.m., he modified the message from 5 p.m. to 3 p.m. and send the exact message to the receiver, Alice. So Alice is here. Alice believes that the message 3 p.m. tomorrow, I will meet 3 p.m. tomorrow is actually coming from the Bob, but actually the message was sent by the attacker. So he masquerade like a Bob and send those information to the receiver. And due to this kind of misleading information, uh, the so the data, so you can do anything with that particular information. Okay, you can enter into their house because at that time she won't be there. So he believe, and so or otherwise you can simply spy their systems by keep on sniffing the data transmissions. Okay, so whatever the attack you want, you can do it by successfully intercepting into this communication and actively participating with this communication. Okay, so it's called Masquerade attack. So it's the intruder pretends to be a particular user of a system to gain access or gain greater privileges. Okay, then they authorized for. Okay, so here sender the Bob is the authorized one. So instead of that, he pretend to be the authorized person and sending the information to Alice. Okay, so this is the concept of masquerading. And another one attack is called session replay attack or a replay attack. Here, the same scenario is there. Okay, it's similar like Alice Bob or a client server or user server. So the original communication is happening between the user to server, but the sniffing communication is done by the attacker. So he is the man in the middle of the user and server, capturing the sniffing the original communication. And one of the important thing what he will identify is the session. Excuse me. He will steal the session ID. So that actually generated during the initial session creation. So after stealing the session ID, the intruder, this particular attacker gains the access and he can do whatever he want. Okay, he will replay the same session to the server and the server believes that the request is coming from the genuine user and he will start replying to that stinking communication. That is the man in the middle. Okay. This is the kind of attack it happens in the recent days during the product purchase in the e-commerce websites, also during amount transaction in the bank transactions and the cryptocurrency transactions. In many places, these kind of replay attacks and double spending attacks are happening. One of the main reason is the attacker simply steal the entire session and they replay the session once again to the server to do whatever they want. And another kind of active attack is the DOS and DDoS attack. So we will discuss more about this in the upcoming slides. I'll give a small introduction. Like DOS is the denial of service attack. So here we have a server which provides the service, and we have a sender or a client or a sender system that keep on sending the request to the server, okay, and expecting the response from the server. So in order to achieve the DOS attack, attackers will spend more than the server's capacity. Okay, so that they will send the request more than the server's capacity to that particular server. So through this, the server's ability to reply to all the requests will be denied. So that is the concept of denial of that particular service. It may be take some time. That is it will be get delayed or it may be denied. Okay, so based on the number of requests sent by the attacking, that is that bot or that attacking device. So it's called a denial of service attack. A users are deprived of access to a network or web resources. This is generally accomplished by overwhelming the target with more traffic than it can handle. For example, the server can handle a request per second. Request the sender will send the 150 requests to the server means the server won't respond to the all the request because the capacity is 100, but the upcoming request is 150. So obviously it won't reply to that all the requests. So it's kind of denial of service or delayed service. In distributed denial of service, the same scenario, but in the different format. Here, the attacker will be there and he will have one controller. So this controller take control of different devices. Okay, they are all compromised devices. Okay, we can call it as a zombies or a bots. So how they usually be compromised means the attacker write malware and they send that malware to each and every devices. And once this malware attack is successfully executed, the system will be compromised and they will become a zombies and they will work whatever the command given by the controller and attacker. Okay, so they simply zombies or bots, they work according to the attacker command. Okay, so they don't work for the owner and they will work for the attacker who is outside the organization. So here we have a server, we have a client. For example, there are many legal clients are there. So they are also sending the request to the server and these attacking devices, this bot's also sending the request. Unlike a DDoS attack, here one system sending a request to the server, but here multiple systems sending that 150 requests to this victims, but the victim server able to handle only 100 requests per second in the sense. So here 150, that is 50 requests more, but here it's more than 500 or 600 requests per second. So obviously the server unable to serve to the genuine users. Okay, so it will be attacked by the DDoS attack that was created by the attacker. So it's called a distributed denial of service attack exploitation. And so this is some of the important attacks in the active attack strategy. So another one is the passive attack. So unlike active attack, here also similarly the three parties are there. There is the sender, receiver, as well as the man in the middle. But the attacker will not actively participate in this communication. Here, what he will do is he simply sniff the entire data communication, he capture the data packets and record all the information. And if something is interesting, okay, he will indulge into that communication and do some modification and he will actively participate in the attack. Otherwise, he simply capture all the records and he will use it for the purpose or analyze those information and he will try to capture some sensitive information from the uh, captured information. I will tell you how it has been done. Okay. So one of the important passive security attacks called eavesdropping. So here you can see the two parties can communicate with each other. So the sniffer, the eavesdropper simply capture all the packets from the communication and he won't do any active attack in that communication. So nowadays, in recent times, we are all started using the smart home gadgets, especially the voice assistant systems like Google Assistants, Alexa, Siri, kind of voice assistant systems. So these devices are placed the middle of the house, and they keep on waiting for our commands, and they keep on listening our voice and the language and all the informations. So to do it will do the process those information and it will try to give the better service for us. Okay, at the same time, you just imagine if some bug is installed in that device. Okay, it may be a hardware bug or a software bug. So this the particular bug keep on capturing all this secret information. So what and all you're talking with your friend, family members, your wife and your relatives. So it may be related to your medical, that is a health related issue or financial information. So everything will be listened. Okay, everything will be captured by these kind of devices. Okay, so obviously what will happen if any unauthorized softwares or hardware devices are installed in the devices, they can capture all the information and it will send those information to the attacker who is in the dark web, and they can process it. And if something is interesting, definitely they will try to create an attack to internet connected devices that are available in the system, because obviously all the IoT devices are connected with this home assistant, that is voice assistant devices, so they can easily take control of those internet connected devices. Okay, so it will lead to the another attack, and you will become a prey for all these kind of security attacks. So the same information was reported by CNET in the recent times, that it was reported 4th July, so 2 days back. So Alexa and Google Assistant fall victim to eavesdropping apps. It's the security researchers have developed 8 voice apps. Okay, so the 8 kind of voice apps bugs that could listen on people and potentially steal their passwords. So by doing this kind, by analyzing the information, whatever the Alexa and Google Assistant hear, so it will do the processing, it process the eavesdropped information, and they try to exploit the sensitive information such as the personal identification information or a password or uh, something related to their personal. So definitely this will be a big threat to privacy as well as the security of the normal human beings. So based on this active and passive attack, the recent technology attacks are classified into 4 major types based on targeted layers and attack types. So here the attack types are physical attack, software attack, and network attack, data attack. Okay, so the targeted layers are classified into similarly 4 types. That is application layer, processing layer, network layer, and perception layer. So based on this attack type and the targeted layer, the different attack examples are given. We will see some of the important attacks that are listed here. These all kind of attacks are um, majorly a danger to the modern technologies, especially Internet of Things and machine learning algorithms. So Bitcoins, especially, is based with the blockchain transactions. So they are more threatened to this recent technology. I will see one by one. So first, the application layer, which attacked by 2 types of attack, that is physical attack as well as the data attack, which results to different types of attacks, that is side channel attack, virus, worms, trojanous, spyware, and hardware, adware. The second one is the processing layer, which also affected by 2 types of attack, that is software attack and network attack. So it also results to the 4 major types of attacks, that is malware, data inconsistency, unauthorized access, DDoS attack. Then the third one is the network layer attack, which affected by the network attacks and simply traffic analysis attack, RFID spoofing in the IoT devices, routing information attack in the um, networking devices, distributed DDoS, and data breach. There is especially medical data breach in the IoT data collection is or the major challenge. Okay. The fourth one is the perception layer, which attacked by the physical attack, and that is also result to different types of attacks like tampering attack, data tampering attack, malicious code injection into that software programs, fake node injection in the IoT network, denial of sleep attack in the IoT devices. Because denial of service attack we hear, but denial of sleep attack means in IoT network and especially the wireless inspection networks, some of the devices will be kept ideal for some time. Okay, if they don't have any signals, if they are not receiving any signals or activations signals, they will be ideal for some times. But this kind of attack, what it will do, it keep on sending a request to that device, and it won't make that device to be ideal. So obviously the battery power will be drained, and um, so due to that, the device will go off. Okay, so that is the denial of sleep attack. It won't allow the device to be ideal. And permanent denial of service attack is also kind of device attack. So these are all the major attacks. We will see few important attacks from this, and what are the recent problems, issues we are facing due to this attack. Excuse me. The first and foremost is the virus. As we've seen, it's a application layer attack, and it attacked by physical and data attack. Okay, so it's virus is a piece of code, corrupted code or software programs, which executes and replicates by itself and modifying the computer programs. So once it's affected, what it will do, it will affect the process and it will affect the applications, and it make the computer to slow loading the applications, and it won't allow the other new process to engage into that particular process. Okay, it will take more time to process a single application. Okay, so obviously your system will be hacked. So this is a general thing, and there are many types of viruses. So like boot sector, rootkit, and file infection macro. Okay, so and many types are there. So in the recent times, Malaysia, it's recorded that 75.8 million virus cyber attacks in Q1, says the United States Cybersecurity Fund called Fortnite. So it was reported in Malaysian Mail, and the news Malaysia it's reported that it recorded a total of 57.8 million virus attacks during the first quarter. That is the first 3 to 4 months in the 2022, which accounted for 1.4% of the total cyber attacks in the world. It means that the increasing level of increasing cyber attacks, especially the virus-based attacks, is evident that we need more concentration on this kind of security issues. Okay. The one of the major reasons for this kind of virus attack is also increasing number of internet usage among people, especially the children and other age group of peoples. What they will do is they simply surf the internet, as part of that they knowingly or unknowingly they click the adverts and other click checking email links and emails. So they will be enter into some unauthorized but attack creating websites. So they supposed to download the virus content into their system, laptops and other internet connected devices. So that is a major reason for this increasing number of virus-based cyber attacks in the recent times. Next type of vulnerability is called network worm. So it's a standalone malware. So attacker used this worm to create more bots to create the DDoS attack. Um, sorry, screen is visible. So the another important uh, the vulnerability is called network worm. So in this, what will happen? The attacker write this kind of codes like um, Trojan virus and other sort of viruses, and they send that virus to the computers. And this particular malware, what it will do, it replicate itself and spread into the other devices in the network. So obviously, most of the devices in the network will be attacked, and they will become zombies or bots to the attacker. So attacker use these devices to create the bot network, and they will conduct the DOS attack. So another kind of malware is called a Trojan horse. It's a very important attack in the recent times. So a program, it's claimed to be a free from your computer virus, but it considered to be a genuine application or a genuine software. But when you install it and you start executing it, it will release one what is that? Malicious code that is inside in the software, and it start executing and it will start destroying your computer. Okay. So it looks like a genuine software or a application, but when you install and start executing it, it will start to show its behavior. Okay, so it will destroy, change, and transmit the information that are contained in your system to the attack creator, the virus creator. So the another report in the China in the recent times about the Trojanous virus, it shows that the U.S. plans Trojan horse programs in hundreds of important Chinese information system. It shows that cyber weapon that are targeted to China and Russia by the United States. So it was reported few days before that China's National Computer Virus Emergency Response Center discussed that um, yeah, new vulnerability called this kind of a Trojan horse or sent to the internet users of the China as well as the Russia, and the virus is deployed by United States, that is the National Security Agency, that is NSA. So they reported it, but it may be allegation or whatever it is, but the report strongly says, okay, so it shows that the Trojan horse is one of the potential virus, okay, it can be used to create the warfare, okay, so between the countries. So obviously we can expect cyber wars in the upcoming years. The major reason is the increasing number of internet connected device usage and the financial debate, the financial war between the uh, internet giants. Okay, so like um, so the companies they use the internet services and they provide the different kind of services to the people. Okay, so they are backing the government and they can do whatever they want. So the normal business fights will become a country wide fight like cyber wars. Okay, so there can be any chances for this kind of wars, but we can see that this the reason for this all is going to be a small virus. It's called small malware is called Trojanus. Okay. The another one is called botnet. Okay, so as I already told, Trojanous will be created and sent to the legal users. And the legal user, you can see this image, yeah, attacker creating the Trojanous and sending those information to the a legal user. And the legal user simply download those information and installing that particular application into the system because it looks like a genuine software. So then once it installed, this will be entered into that system and the system will be compromised and according to the command of the attacker, the system will respond. The second thing is similarly like botnet, sorry, a network worm, all this information will spread across the network and all the devices that are connected in the network will be compromised and they will be connected with the controller and according to the attacker's control, the system will respond. Okay, so for out of craziness, out of curiosity, the attacker doing these things, but one fine day, a corporate or a government people giving some sponsor to that attacker, and I need 1,000 bots or 1 lakh bots to attack a particular server. So I need your help. Okay, so they're paying so much of amount to that particular attacker by that uh, organization peoples. So what the attacker will do is he simply receive the money and create the attacker, create the attack through that bot, okay, through the compromised devices. So the concept is very simple that so attacker simply uses viruses and worms and malwares to compromise the devices and they can use it for any purpose, especially if they are black attackers, they can do it anything with that kind of attack. So botnet is mostly used to create the DDoS attack, especially it's very threatening to IoT based devices. So IoT botnet attacks are very dangerous the recent times because the IoT is a combination of hardware and software technology that creates a trillions of data with devices and sensors. So when IoT devices, okay, so the thousands and thousands of IoT devices, even a single device is compromised for this kind of botnet attack, all the devices will be compromised and they can easily create the attack to the other set of devices. Also, one more challenging challenge to the IoT devices, they are constrained devices. They have very less energy capacity, they have very less memory power, they have very less processing capacity. So it is very difficult to withstand with the, it is very difficult to mitigate those security attacks or write the security mitigation features to the devices. So if any botnet or DDoS attacks or happen, it will go to, okay, it will easily fall in the attack and it will move into the denial of service. Just imagine if any medical based IoT devices, especially a pacemaker kind of internet connected devices, are attacked, it will lead to very major impacts. Okay, so beyond the reputation loss and financial loss, even it can cause that human that patient's entire life. Okay, so it's very dangerous attack, especially on IoT and IoT medical devices. It was reported by the security bulwark in the recent time about the increasing number of botnet attack on IoT devices. Okay, so the next topic is so it's not about the DDoS attack. We already clearly discussed about the DDoS and DDoS attack, but here, what are the types of DDoS? That's what we're going to see. So when it comes to DDoS attack, there are three major types. That is volume-based attack and protocol-based attack and application layer-based attack. I simply said, so it sends the bunch of requests to the server and server will not handle those requests and simply it will deny the service. But this particular process categorized into three major types. There is volume protocol based and application layer based. When it comes to volume based, it related with the bandwidth of the entire system. Okay, it will saturate the bandwidth of that communication. When it comes to protocol based, it will consume the server resources and make the server to not give service. And application layer attack means it will crash the entire web server, especially the cloud-based web servers in the recent times. So through that, the service will not be provided to the users. So there is a recent article about the DDoS attack protection. So we all know last few months there has been a war between the Ukraine and Russia. So we know only the physical war between the both countries, but the cyber war is um, simultaneously happening between these countries for a long time. Okay, so to protect themselves, to protect the Ukrainian cyber information, especially the government, that is army-related informations and some other sensitive information that is related to the army strategies. Okay, so during the war session, so they have implemented a new cyber security system to protect the DDoS attack. That is nothing but the um, uh, called Radware. Okay, so it's similar like Cloudflare system we are using in the India. Cloudflare is CDN, is a content delivery network, also a protection uh, software mechanism. So they deliver the secure data transmission to all the websites, web servers, especially most of the top websites in the world are protected by the Cloudflare. This is also a similar kind of service, security service that is called Radware. Okay. So they are seeking the help of that Radware, and Ukraine deployed that Radware software in their security systems, that is sensitive data storage area, especially in the cloud, to protect the DDoS attack. Okay. So through this, the special communication and information protection of radars are informed that they have implemented most of the security systems that comes under their category, and it will protect their data during the cyber war between the Russia. Okay, it was reported in the recent time by the vulnerable beat website. Then another kind of security attack is called ransomware. So in the previous session, Professor Kuna um, statistical information about the recent ransomware attacks. So this is also something related to that only. Ransomware is widespreading uh, security attack, security issue, because now the awareness about the site, there is a Bitcoin and blockchain is increasing, and many people start investing in blockchain, and they got a knowledge about the Bitcoin, and so they feel and they see that Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency is one kind of investment source. So so the people, okay, so the attackers take this opportunity and they started their attacking activity using this ransomware on this kind of technologies, especially in the blockchain and cryptocurrency area. So usually what will happen in the ransomware is the attacker will write a piece of code and they send those code into that system. It may be any kind of malware like adware, spyware, or a virus or worms or whatever it is. Okay, so once it enter into that system, it will try to encrypt all the data and it will send a message to the user like this kind, this like this. Okay, so all your data are encrypted and logged, and you are able to access your the files. Excuse me. So what you have to do is you have to pay a certain amount of Bitcoin to this particular account within this time limit. Otherwise, all your data will be erased permanently. Okay, so this kind of information will be shown in the screen. Okay, so you cannot do anything in that screen. Okay, unless you can pay Bitcoin to that uh, particular what is that hacker through that medium. Okay, so the only one provision will be there. Using the provision, you can pay. Okay. So in many scenarios, people after paying the Bitcoin also they won't get service that they won't get the files back. Okay, so that is the worst case scenario. So this is called a ransomware, and there are many recent in recent times there are many uh, the newses we can hear like so I'm in a different country, but in my country, all the cryptocurrency wallets are blocked, and I unable to transfer. I have 1,000 or 100 bitcoins. I want to convert it into my currency, so I send few dollars, few bitcoins to you, since your country is free to use the bitcoins and transfer the money, and you have a Bitcoin ATMs in your country. So I send my bitcoins from my wallet to you. So what you can do is you can send 10% of amount for that entire Bitcoin to me initially to believe you, and then I will send all other Bitcoins to you, and you exchange it, and you take 20% or 30%, and remaining amount you return to me. Return back to me. So this kind of messages, spam messages, okay, this kind of scams are spreading nowadays. So what exactly this kind of information reveals is this scams and phishing messages. Those who have knowledge, those who have idea about the Bitcoin, okay, they easily fall into this kind of mm, next. Okay, so easily they will be targeted, and all the amount will, whatever the amount they are transferring to that particular person, okay, everything will be simply gone. Okay, so they won't send any Bitcoin or anything. Okay, it's simply a scam message. So this kind of informations we are seeing in the newspapers recent days. Okay, so this is also a incident just based on the ransomware. Okay, so it's also related to the Bitcoin. So here, what happened is a woman who fell as a victim to a ransomware attack. Someone actually hacked. her computer and encrypted all the data, and they send a message. Okay, so unlike this kind of message, what the message she got is she got a service request from the Microsoft. So she believed that so there is a problem with my Microsoft operating system, so I need to contact the service person in order to rectify it. So simply made a call to that service person, and she was talking to the person, and she asked to pay some kind of amount, and there is a OTP just sent to your Microsoft account. Please tell me that OTP, and um, so through that I can receive the money and do the process. So what she did, she had replied that OTP, that 6-digit number to her, and as soon as he sent that number to the Microsoft service. Okay, she believed to be the Microsoft service agent, but actually she is a scammer. Okay, so she sent that information to her, but as soon as she sent that OTP, the 30K dollars Bitcoin amount were what is it, debited from her account. Okay, so it was happened in Canada, Sudbury. So the investigation is started, and so this is a kind of scam using the ransomware to Bitcoins. So, so she was delivered to buy the Bitcoin to recover the entire operating system, to recover the that crashed the entire operating system, but it was not happen. Instead of recovering it, so she lost 30K dollars. So this is the another security issue in the recent times due to the security attack called ransomware. And this one is the last attack in this session, that is the phishing security attack. So phishing, uh, it is a common for everyone. Okay, even you have antivirus or whatever the security mechanism you are using in as an individual or as an organization, phishing mails are always there. So what the phishing activity the attacker will do is he will send an email. Okay, it's pretend to be the original mail about a particular service or offer or some cashback or some attractive information, okay, which was well crafted in that mail and sent to the victim. So victim believe that it is the original information and clicks on the email and goes to the phishing website. Okay, it may be in the form of Amazon product, or it may be in the form of Flipkart product, or it may be in the form of bank loans, or it may be in the form of cashback offer to your Swiggy. Okay, so whatever it is. Okay, so if something is attractive and the victim doesn't aware about this kind of security attacks, what will happen? Um, so he will click that message. So once the victim clicks that message, it will go into the phishing website, and the attacker collect the credential. Because you just imagine if the message is about a loan from Axis Bank, the victim believes that is the original message from Axis Bank. You simply click that and opening that mail. Okay, the attractive title says, we have verified all your civil scores, and you are ready to get 50 lakhs home loan immediately. So he was trying to get this loan for 10 years. Okay, so obviously he will have a curiosity to open that mail. So as soon as you open that mail and going to the website, it asks you the Axis Bank credentials. As soon as you create a credential, it will be redirected to the some other website. Obviously, at that point only you come to know exactly what happened. Okay, it was not a original website and it's a phishing website. Attacker simply grab all this user ID and password details, and they will use as a legitimate user to that website later. Okay, so this is a kind of a phishing attack, and the phishing and fake landing pages through emails are widely spreading, especially in the crypto market. So here what exactly will happen is the cyber criminals. Okay, so they are using the range of techniques to trick the victim into sending into them like phishing mails to them, and uh, they feel like I can also invest into that cryptocurrency and other kind of stuffs. So they start investing it, but later point only they come to know it's actually a phishing mail and I lost all my money. So this is also a recent security issue of the technology based on the blockchain and cryptocurrency. Okay, so that's all about the issues and type of attacks. And let's see how we can protect ourselves from this and what exactly attackers will do after this and how we can protect ourselves from this kind of security attacks. So with that note, we will round up. I will end up this session. The attacker, once the attack is the system is compromised, what the attacker will do is there is a security vault. Okay, so using that security vault, the security vulnerability, only the attacker entered into the secure system. So once he entered and did all the activity and left the account, so what he will do is he will write the patch and close that hole. One of the main reason is he don't want other attackers to enter into that hole. Okay, so other attackers don't want to use this vulnerability to enter into that organization. He will keep that as a secret, and whenever he requires, and he will enter into that organization and collect the sensitive informations. Third one is the clear the log and hide themselves. So always the log informations are recorded in the individual system or a network. So where you entered and what are the files you have searched and what are the files you opened and closed. So everything will be recorded as a log, and you can easily identify those activities using the log analysis. So here, so these are all actually footprints. Okay, so how the thief eradicating their footprints after stealing the jewel or any valuable products from the home or any other organization. So the attackers simply clear all these logs and hide themselves after successful security attack into the organization. The third one is they will install a backdoor or a rootkit. So this is a kind of software. What it will do is it will keep on monitor your system after the attack as well. It won't do any trouble to. It won't give any trouble to you, but it keep on monitor and send those report to the attacker. Okay. So it may contains a trojanos or any sort of virus, and it keep on monitor and it will send those information to the attacker. If attacker identifies something is interesting in that compromised device, he will again use that backdoor to come into that network and try to do the hacking activity. So it is very important once you protected yourself from the entire security attack. Still, you need to check for this kind of patch. There is security updates and backdoors and other information. You have to analyze the log information, and through that only be able to identify what exactly is happening in our system. So along with this, we need to monitor the entire system clearly, and we need to mitigate these security attacks. Otherwise, we will be in big trouble since so there are more internet connected devices. The first that first point is the security monitoring. It's similar like our normal security monitoring, how security person monitor the each and every who are entering into that gate. Okay, so he only allow the authorized person into that area. Otherwise, he will simply stop the unauthorized person, or he will ask for the permission, and then only the security person will allow the uh, people to enter into the premises. Similarly, in the security monitoring, we have to analyze each and every logs using a firewalls and other honeypot kind of security system. Only legal, that is the authorized, that is only encrypted, that is HTTPS enabled request only we have to allow, and we allow them to access our personal information and security information. The second thing is the computer virus control. We have to implement a strong virus scanning websites, sorry, softwares, antivirus softwares, and we need to do a proper periodical scan to the entire system, and we should keep our system virus free. Whenever we download stuff from internet, we have to scan the particular documents or a video file or audio file. First we do the virus scan. So once it passes all the sort of scanning, then only we have to use the documents. The third one is the microcomputer security. It consists of two types of security. That is software-based and hardware-based. When it comes to software-based, system software and application software. So we need to take care of all kind of applications, and all type of softwares are genuine and they are licensed from the genuine parties. That is genuine owners, and it need to be updated frequently. All the security patches need to be updated. And when it comes to hardware component, we need to maintain the inventory, and so the part is believed to be the genuine parts. And even the hardware is purchased from the unauthorized parties. Okay, they may have bugs inside the device, and they will also become a threat to the entire system security. So microcomputer security is also very important. Whenever we doing a purchase and maintenance, we need to take care of this kind of things. The fourth one is the physical and environmental security. That is nothing but our normal human being security. We need to educate, we need to inculcate what is mean by cybersecurity, what is mean by internet actually, okay, how they are connected, who are all participated in this area, how to use the internet efficiently, okay, otherwise how to use the internet. Okay, so that is the basic knowledge we have to educate. Since we are more than 500 or 600 people who are connected, we know how what is mean by internet and how to use it. But in our family, if you have 5 members in a family, so we have a kid. Okay, so the 10-year kid also using a mobile phone, they are also using the internet, and our father and grandfather, okay, so they are also using the internet, but they don't have much idea about what exactly the internet and what exactly uh, happening in the internet. Okay, so they don't know much information about cybersecurity and why they need to protect their password and user ID, and why they should not connect it with the open Wi-Fi's, and why should not they click the junk mails, and why should not they click the tracking messages that are coming in the WhatsApp and other mediums. Okay, so if there is any offer, if something is attracting, okay, first you should find the genuinity of that message, then only you have to click and open this. Okay, so these are all the few important points, few educational ideas we need to inculcate our childs and our elder people, so in order to protect them from cybersecurity and cybersecurity related attacks, especially in the um, recent and upcoming years, because so we are completely moving from offline to online. Okay, so it is very, very important for everyone to know about this kind of cybersecurity uh, aspects. The last but not the least, backup and recovery. Okay, so backup is taking a continuous backup, the consistent backup of your entire data. It may be your laptop data or mobile or whatever it is. You should keep on taking a backup of your resources, and you need to maintain it separately using a external hard disk or some other unused laptops. One of the main reason is it will protect ourselves from ransomware kind of attacks. Even though we are attacked to the ransomware, so we no need to bother for that. Okay, so the Bitcoin, what they demand is 1,000 times more than a simple hard disk. Okay, 4 TB hard disk or 8 TB hard disk. Okay, so that is a precautionary thing. And recovery, we need to create the each and every recovery point in a particular period of time, especially every month. Okay, you just take a 25th every month and create the recovery point in your operating system. So what it will do is, though there is any hardware failure or sorry, especially a software failure happen, operating system related failures or happen, you can go back to that particular recovery point. that actually a recent recovery point to get back all your stuffs. Okay, so without any issue. So these are all the information I would like to convey in this session as part of this 10-day FTP. So that's all about this session. Thank you. I hand over my session to coordinator.
Okay, so that was really a wonderful session. Thank you so much for giving so much interesting case studies. So that was really interesting
Thank you.
to know about that bitcoins and so much case studies.
Thank you. Thank
Okay. So from the participants, if you have any queries, you can please ask, sir. I saw few of them raising hands during the session.
you. Sure,
So
sure,
I'll
sure,
enable the mic so you can unmute and ask if you have any queries.
sure, sure.
Uh,